Hey fellow YouTubers, this is Lawls here, and I am bringing you a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, which I haven't done before, but I'm really enjoying this deck, so I just thought I'd share this profile which I have manufactured. Usually with deck profile videos that I've seen on YouTube, they'll show like a bunch of replays with some funky music, and then they'll just quickly show you this page here, and then that's it. But what I want to do, I want to show you all the cards first, explain how they work in the deck, then I can show you some replays. You'd be like, oh, he's not lying, they do actually work quite well. So we've got BLS, everyone knows what he does. This is really good in the deck because all the Thunder Dragon monsters, they all have banish effects, except from this guy. He doesn't have a banish effect. But he is still useful in the deck. He is useful for getting this guy out. So BLS, use it to banish your Thunder Dragons, use their Thunder Dragon-y effects, everyone's happy, and then you get a Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. Same with this Chaos Dragon thing. This one requires you to banish 3 monsters instead of 2, but you have some different options here. I usually just use the light and dark one, but it's really nice to be able to use the dark only one as well. That has annoyed my friends quite a few times. And then we got Aeon. This Thunder Dragon, it's like a twin-headed Thunder Dragon. It has 2 heads, and it doesn't look rubbish. Again, this is just like BLS. You're banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster. This guy has a really cool effect though, where you can banish 1 card from your graveyard after it destroys an opponent's monster, and then you can add a Thunder Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which is really nice. And then also, during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards, place it on either the top or bottom of your deck, which could come in handy. Bestial Thunder Dragon. This guy's really nice. I hardly ever use his first effect here, where you can discard this card from your hand to add a Thunder Dragon card that is banished or is in your graveyard to your hand. When I do use that, I just use it to get Avian Thunder Dragon. The main effect of his I use is to send him either from the field to the graveyard or to get him banished, and then I can special summon a Thunder Dragon from the deck in defense position. And also that has to be returned to the hand at the during the end phase, so that's again really good for getting Avian Thunder Dragon out. Avian Thunder Dragon, having this card in your hand is incredible. You could just discard it, special summon a Thunder Dragon monster that is banished or is in the graveyard. You can also use that to get Aeon, the twin-headed Thunder Dragon guy, back onto the field. And also he has a banish effect or remove from the field to the graveyard effect. You can use either one for all of these guys, where you can shuffle some cards back into your hand. You can shuffle some cards from your hand back into your deck, which works really well with Thunder Dragon here, as you can discard, if you have 1 in your hand, you can discard it, add the other 2 from your deck to your hand, so immediately you're getting a +2 on that, less cards left in your deck, and then you can banish Avian Thunder Dragon here, shuffle those 2 Thunder Dragons back into the deck, and hopefully get some other cards which could be a bit more useful. And one thing I really like about Bolt Thunder Dragon is if you're playing on your GoPro, if you're going second, and your opponent's like trying to do stuff like adding a card from the deck to the hand, and it asks you if you want to do something, they're like, oh no, he's got Ash Blossom. So you beat a bit dirt and use it like that, but I usually, the first time it prompts me if I'm going second, during my opponent's first turn, to discard it and add another one to my hand. I just do it just to thin out my deck a little bit. Its banish effect is really good though. You can get it banished, add any Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand. And that also includes this fusion card here and this trap card. So it is an incredible search card. Batteryman Solar works really well in this deck. Not only when you summon him do you get to send a Thunder monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is really good for getting a Thunder Dragon here into the graveyard. If you special or normal summon a any Thunder monster really, while this guy's on the field, you get a free token, which is really handy since this deck it's really all about getting the Link monsters out. It's not so much the Thunder Dragons, it's all about getting these bad boys out. Phantom Skyblaster is easily my favourite card in this deck. As soon as I get him out, that's pretty much it. That's like, I've won the duel once I get Phantom Skyblaster out. So imagine this, you've used, we'll get on to a bit more detail what these Sky Striker cards do here. But you use Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, you get a Mecha Hornet Drone, and then you summon Sky Striker Ace Kagiri, and then you use it to get another token, and you get Police Patrol of the Underworld out. Or you just use it to get Hayate out, and then use another token to get like a Link Kribo out. You then throw down Phantom Skyblaster. Your field is now full. You've got 3 tokens, a Phantom Skyblaster, a Link Kribo, and a Skyblaster. So you can pull off some incredible combos with that. Ash Blossom, Ghost Bella, Effect Veiler, we all know what they do. I haven't worked too much on the side deck, too much for this deck, really, so I've just filled it up with hand traps in case I ever want to switch them out, as, you know, they have some are better against certain types of decks. Allure of Darkness is amazing in this deck. Use Allure of Darkness when you have Bestial or Bolt in your hand, and you can banish it, and then you get to use that Thunder Dragon's effect as well. So it goes without saying, you run 3 of these in your deck. Now we have our Sky Striker cards. I'm just going to cover all of these together here. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage is overpowered. It's probably going to get hit in the next ban list, so enjoy it while you can. Lets you search any of these cards here, and it's not hard once per turn either. So you can use it to search one of these. You get Kagari out, which lets you get Mobilize Engage back, and then you can use it again, which is insane. And this just summons a token. The Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners lets you destroy a monster, then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can destroy Spell or Trap. And then Jamming Waves is pretty much just the opposite of that. You destroy a set spell or trap on the field, so it has a little bit of a drawback there. But then you can destroy a monster on the field as well. I'm not too sure if I want to keep this card in this deck. It would be so overpowered if it didn't have to be a set spell or trap. You might want to swap it out for an Upstart Goblin or something. Soul Charge is one of my favorite cards. It's such a good card. Just bring back a whole bunch of monsters, especially if you have Link monsters in the graveyard, because you can use Soul Charge to bring them back and they don't take up the extra monster zone. So if you somehow have a Borosaur Dragon and a Borolo Dragon in your graveyard, Soul Charge, you get them both back on the field. It's incredible. Gold Sarcophagus is not normally a card I like. Most of the times when I'm dueling, if you get the card banished for 2 turns, by the time you get it, you might not need it anymore, so I'm not usually too fond of it. But in this deck, it works incredibly well because it lets you banish Thunder Dragons, which lets you use their effects, which is amazing! Thunder Dragon Fusion, really good card. I only run 2 of them though, because you are required to have one of these, either on the field, in the graveyard, or banished, which I don't always have. So you run 2, and if you need it, you can search it with Bolt Thunder Dragon. And then the last card in our main deck is Thunder Dragon Streamer, just another way of getting rid of spell and traps on the field. This doesn't have the handicap of it only being set cards. And also, you can banish Thunder Dragons from the deck, so it's even better. Now going into the extra deck, we got Super Bolt Thunder Dragon. I don't run the other Thunder Dragon Fusion they recently brought out. You know, I'm going to get it up and explain why. Okay, so Thunder Dragon Lord. First I'll say why Super Bolt Thunder Dragon is ridiculously overpowered. So during the turn, a Thunder Dragon monster's effect was activated in the hand, so if you used Avian, for example, to summon a monster, your opponent cannot add any cards from either player's deck to the hand except by drawing them. So it's almost like a mini Droll Lockbird in that sense. But what really makes this card so great in this deck is its effect to not be destroyed by battle or card effects, because you can always be banishing Thunder Dragons from your graveyard, and then of course you get all their effects, which is amazing. Now let's look at Thunder Dragon Lord. Now it has a pretty cool effect. When a Thunder Monster's, it doesn't have to be a Thunder Dragon, when a Thunder Monster's effect is activated in the hand, even during a damage step, you can destroy one card on the field. But the big drawback this card has, it's not protected against battle at all. And also you have to banish 2 cards from the graveyard to keep it. And it doesn't have the incredible mini Droll and Lockbird effect. And it's a little bit more difficult to get out as well. You need to banish a Thunder Monster from your hand and one Thunder Fusion monster you control. I don't run it. You can side deck it if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now originally I did only run Borrelsword Dragon, but I found a few times where I was wishing I was running Borrelode Dragon, so I had to make room for him in this deck. The reason I put him in is because one of my mates who I duel quite a lot, he runs Big Eye in his deck, and Big Eye can't be used against Borrelode Dragon, but it can be used against Borrelsword Dragon, so be a bit careful with that. Borrelode Dragon, incredible card. You can use it to take your opponent's monsters, and I have a replay to show you guys later where I actually took my friend's Borrelode Dragon, which he was trying to use against me, which I thought was an incredible moment. Borrelsword Dragon is such a good card for getting those OTKs. Since I often pair it with Trigate Wizard, you can use its first effect to switch a monster into defense position, and then this card gains a second attack. You could change one of your own monsters into defense position, and then use that monster to summon Trigate Wizard. So you've pretty much just got rid of the downside of that card. And then you can use Borrelsword Dragon, while it's also co-linked with Trigate Wizard, to attack your opponent's monster that is still in attack position. And then this card gains attack equal to half of that monster's current attack, and then their monster loses half of their attack. And then you have Trigate Wizard, which is doubling the battle damage that Borrelsword Dragon is doing, and you can almost sometimes just kill him in one hit. That's how powerful this combo is. Sayuja, such a good card in this deck. I don't ever summon him with 2 or 3 monsters, you always have to do it with 4, so you can get that draw effect, which is so good in this deck, and probably most other decks as well. And also you can use it to special summon a monster from your hand, which can come in really handy, as you can use it to special summon Bestial or Bolt Thunder Dragon, and then you can summon it using this. You don't even have to use Thunder Dragon Fusion, you can literally just summon it from your extra deck like it was a Link monster or something on top of one of these guys if you used a Thunder Dragon effect from your hand. We have a Nightmare Unicorn next. Such a good card. You could just, when you summon it, discard a card and shuffle 1 card on the field back into the deck. So overpowered for getting rid of your opponent's boss monsters. Nightmare Phoenix, its effect is good on its own, where you can discard a card and target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. But its second effect is also really good, where once per turn co-linked monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, which could come in really handy if you're looking to maybe have it co-linked to Sayuja or Nightmare Unicorn. And then you have Nightmare Cerberus, which lets you destroy a special summon monster, so you probably won't see yourself using this as much as these two, but it also has a really good second effect where co-linked monsters once per turn cannot be destroyed by card effects, which comes in incredibly handy. Police Patrol of the Underworld, you're mainly only going to be using with your Sky Striker cards. I don't think I've ever actually used its effect. I just run it instead of something like Lanphalinkus, because that effect is there, and if I ever need to use it, even though I haven't yet, it's there, and it could probably come in handy. Then we have our 2 Sky Striker cards. The first one you're going to summon is going to be Sky Striker Ace Kagari, which lets you then get one of your Sky Striker cards back, preferably Sky Striker Mobilizing Gauge if that's already in your graveyard. because then you can use it to get another Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones, and you're thinning out your deck a bit more, getting to the cards you really need. And then you can use Sky Striker Ace Hayed, this one. Then that gives you another zone where you can like throw down like a Link Karibo or something, where the token would have been that you just generated using Hornet drones. And then of course we have Link Spider and Link Karibo, just for converting those useless tokens into useful Link monsters. And now I am going to show you some epic replays. So in this replay I'm going against my mate Ryan, who as you can see is running a Red Eyes deck here. And this is a sweet demonstration of the OTKs this deck can pull off. So I'm going to play it here. I've had to disable the music because I'm using copyrighted music in this in this game. But you can see here we got Thunder Dragon in our hand, so we can discard it, add 2 to my hand. I always do that first, just in case they have an Ash Blossom. I'd rather have them negate that than something like Lure of Darkness or Sky Striker Mobilizing Gauge. So we use that first to get a Hornet drones, and we can actually chain these on top of each other. So even though they require you to have no monsters in your main monster zones, you can chain them like this, and you can just get free tokens out like that, which is incredible. So now we have our free tokens. We can use Hayati here. In this case, I chose to use her first just because I already had free tokens. If I only had 1 token, I would have just gone for Kagari first. But in this case, I decided to do it the other way around. So now we've summoned Kagari, we can get our Sky Striker Mobilizer Gauge back. And then we've used our Link monsters to get Nightmare Unicorn out, which now it has freed up our main monster zones here, so now we can use Sky Striker Mobilize Engage again. And it's also got rid of his Red Eyes Fang with Chain, which is what I was aiming to do. And now we've got Afterburners here, we can get rid of his Red Eyes Slash Dragon and clear his field. And now because I had a Bolt Thunder Dragon in my hand, I was able to use Lure of Darkness, banish him, use the search effect. Again, getting all those tokens, this deck's all about getting those tokens out, so you can get those powerful Link monsters out. Using Sayuja's incredible effect, getting more hench monsters out. And there we go. OTK. I will show you one where I get some really hench Link monsters out, because that's mainly what you're going to be doing with this deck. Now you can see here in my first hand, I have Phantom Sky Blaster, which most of the times when I see Phantom Sky Blaster in my opening hand, I know that's almost a guaranteed win, since his effect is just so overpowered. Unfortunately, we didn't get Mobilize Engage in our first hand, so I am getting Kagari out first, but we can still recycle that and get some hench monsters out. So since I have a monster in the Link Zone, and here as well, as soon as I summon Phantom Sky Blaster, that lets me just fill up the field with tokens. So now, we've already got Borrelsword Dragon out, which is incredible. And we still have a Gold Sarcophagus in our hand, which we can use to use a Thunder Dragon's Banish effect. Which I just did there to shuffle some cards back into my deck. And then we had Aeon, this twin-headed Thunder Dragon. Oh my god. So we just banished a couple of cards from the graveyard to get him out. I just used the tactic I spoke about there, where I put him into defense position, because I was going to use him for Trigate Wizard anyway, and that gives him 2 attacks. And I just did 6,000 damage in 1 hit, and there we go, OTK. Now this replay, I'm not showing you an OTK. I see a lot of deck profiles on YouTube, they always showing you like the hench OTKs you can do, which is really cool. But I want to show what you can do in like a more tense battle, and this is what this replay is. With the Thunder Dragon deck, I do prefer to go second with it. I don't know if that's like the best choice or not, but it's just what I prefer doing with this deck. So, Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage in our hand first turn, which is a really good sign that this duel is going to go well for us. Again, recycling Mobilize, Engage to get another Hornet Drones, which just more spell cards in the graveyard for the other Sky Striker cards, and also we're thinning out the deck a bit. I just got rid of his Monster Reborn with Leviona, this Chaos Dragon fella. Which, no, it's definitely handy for us, not so handy for him. So I think this is now where he's going to try get Borolo Dragon out. He just got screwed over by Allure of Darkness. Galaxy Tomahawk is such an incredible card in the current meta. But anyway, there we got Borolo Dragon out, so he's going to use that to take my Borosaur Dragon. And now at this kind of point, when you see this kind of setup here, you kind of just accept you've probably lost a duel. But getting a Bestial Thunder Dragon here really enabled me to bring this duel back. I mean, with the few cards I had in my hand and on the field, you wouldn't think it's possible to bring this duel back. But the Thunder Dragon deck is so good at doing so much with so little. So he takes my twin-headed Thunder Dragon. And unfortunately for him, he attacked Super Bolt Thunder Dragon, which let me banish Bolt Dragon, so I could get an Avian Thunder Dragon, so I can use its effect to bring Bolt Dragon back. We got a Borolo Dragon, and because Bolt Dragon got removed from the field, I can use it to get Thunder Dragon Fusion. Use Borolo Dragon to take his Borolo Dragon to take my Aeon Thunder Dragon back. So now I have 2 Borolo Dragons. And there we go, we've pretty much won the duel now at this point, and I just reduced the attack of my own monster because why not? And there we go, we've won the duel, and that was one of my favourite duels I've had with this deck, where I just took my opponent's Borolo Dragon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit longer than most deck profile videos you see on YouTube, but I really wanted to take the time to explain to you how this deck works. If you want to see more deck profiles, if you enjoyed this one, then please let me know, and until then, see you guys on the flippity flip flop.